Welcome to Family Awareness Talk Show. From the heart of Beirut city, there is an exception in this episode. The exception is Beirut blast. Many people have been affected by this blast. Many people have been hurt. Many people have lost their jobs, their houses, and they have become homeless. In this episode, we have Miss Rita Khalil, who is a life coach. She's not only a life coach, she's a CBT, and she is one of those people who dedicated their times and their efforts and their money in order to support those people who have been affected by the blast. Rita Khalil, welcome to Family Awareness Talk Show.
Thank you, Dr. Qursifi. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're most welcome. Actually, first we want to tell people what is a life coach and what do you do exactly now and usually in your daily lives.
Okay. Life coaching is a kind of science to reinforce, it helps to reinforce the healthy self. This is in general. And to go more into some details, it tap into the potentials of people and orienting them towards their desires, objectives, outcomes, goals. Now, totally we're in a different story. It's not the time to set objectives. It's not the time to have goals or etc. Our main total objectives now is how to cope with the new normal, with what we are facing. Usually in normal coaching process, we go via certain steps of coaching, like the basic self-discovery, self-awareness, self-knowledge. Then we move to setting goals and the vision. The third part is exploring opportunities or resources or options. Then we go for taking action. Now, we're using all of these science alongside a group of therapists, psychologists, CBTs, trauma coaches, and many kind of coaches who are able to be and work on field. Because this is really painful. This is unbelievable what we are witnessing on the floors with people. So it requires some personal strength to be able to conduct such kind of job. Now.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, it also occurs to me when someone himself or herself has been affected deeply, if it's not materialistically, emotionally, by such a huge incident, which is historic. You know that many scientists described it as Hiroshima. You know, when they meant Hiroshima, they meant little boy blast. And now we are teaching people and teaching our students how Japan has overcome, and which we call it Japan Spring, and they are one of the best countries worldwide in industry, education, many things.
Correct.
So when you go to the floor and see people who have been affected, well, that's their families, children, or fathers or mothers, how would you deal with these people?
Let me go to be very objective regarding some reality check. Can we go a little bit before August 4th?
Yes, please.
Yeah. We, as Lebanese people, we used to live and experienced a combined factors of stress. Why? Many reasons, you know, the financial crisis, the economic, the unemployment, etc. So, and stress differs from someone to another. So the statement, the whole statement was unclarity, turbulence, unbalance, and of course, uncertainty. All right? So after that, boom, August 4th, we had an event, an experience, and a fact. We are experiencing and witnessing and feeling waves floating waves of emotional and negative thoughts. We're sensing this strong emotions. Here I'm gonna name it as emotion of insecurity as a human being. We have a vague and the cloudy vision of tomorrow with destructive facts, alongside tons of pain and suffering. Really, once you're there, once you're with people, it's totally different. Gladly, alongside this dramatic, unpleasant event, we're seeing a combination as well of social and cultural awareness. We're seeing care, support, love, donation, generosity, this care, which is kind of emotional care, alongside with a physiological need now we are putting into hands of people. Like they have to have food. People need a home. They need a certain kind of security, a medicine, etc., etc. This is beautiful, and we're seeing this via the solidarity of people, unity. Really, Lebanese people, they are beautiful minds. They are awesome souls. They just need a space or an environment to put their hearts into practice.
You know, as you said, that Lebanese people were living a hardship before
Yes,
August
before.
4th. So,
Sure.
you know, let's make it clear to our audience in the West. Lebanese people have been stolen by the banks. People who deposited their money,
Sure.
their life work, and they trusted the banks.
Absolutely.
Lebanese banks stole their money.
Of course.
So they tried to survive again with the help of other people to do little works and to get the cash inside the house. Then people start to lose their jobs because they have lost the confidence in the Lebanese government and the Lebanese authority. So they started to leave. First they made their children leave, and which is like it's known throughout history as Lebanese people brain drain. We have more than 12 million Lebanese around the
globe,
world,
yeah.
and we are only 3 million up till now, only 3 million Lebanese inside Lebanon. So the Lebanese diaspora has also spread around the world, and people know that Lebanese people love to work, love to invest, love to make their workplace better, love to share information. So the people who were here after the blast and who lost their money and lost their jobs, and they were like careful when to buy food, the amount of the foods they have to put in the fridge, and you know they suffered paying the tuition of the schools. Then they lost the houses. How much this has affected them from inside?
We're not able to define the right effect right now, because now, to resume the picture, we're in collective trauma. We are in collective trauma. And trauma effects, some appears immediately, some at later stages. The pain is unbelievable. The image, it's surreal. We have nothing now. That's why I stated we have the sense of insecurity on all levels, financially, emotionally, mentally, etc. So what we're trying to do right now is just trying to support people to cope with the new normal. That is a new normal. Life will go on, yet it will take time, it will take efforts. It's easy? No. Doable? Of course, yes. So the sense of belonging, the care, the support, love, this moral and emotional hug by telling people we are here. And by cultivating some new sorts of awareness right now, we're gathering efforts, psychologists, therapists, etc., and being on the floor to listen.
Yes, people love someone to listen to them. You know,
Yes,
if you could give us an example or examples of like what happened when you visited people. I know it's hard for you, even for it's hard, and I know that I can see it in your eyes now, that it's so
Yeah,
hard.
it's okay.
But you know, we need the world to know what's happening in Lebanon.
Okay, let me to introduce what we're doing exactly at first. We built something called an initiative called the listening station, because due to some social conditioning, we don't have the culture of, yes, we can talk, we can see a therapist. It's a must to go to a psychologist at a certain level, or a psychiatric, or CBT, and CBT stands for cognitive behavioral therapist. So now people, or let me talk about the last week, they were in a shock. We have the shock and the aftershock. We have the reaction and respond. So we initiate the listening station. We went to Jamaica and Marm Khalil Street at first, calling people to come and talk. They refused at first. Why we have to talk? Who's going to listen? We're distracted, we're confused, and it was very obvious. The level of anxiety, people, they're not focusing at any level, stress, pain, fear, and the amount of anger. So we stressed on something. People, it's okay not to be okay. You have to talk. Why to talk? To label your emotions and voice out your feeling. Because when we label our emotions and voice out our feeling, we can acknowledge it, accept it, understand it, manage it, use it. And the question is how we're going to use it. In the right time, for the right effect, with the right people, and with our own selves. So this culture it's like a taboo. Now we're embracing it via fostering empathy. We're telling people, we're not gonna talk. We're gonna listen via your ears, feel via your heart, and see via your eyes. And the magic happens when they start talking.
Okay, when they call you, like you told me, they called you at 5 a.m. today. When they call you, so there's something in you that it also hurts you, but you have to be stronger than them and to guide them. What are the needs now?
Yes, we're all sensing now the compassion fatigue, of course. But as it is one of our mission, we're telling people, even it's chaotic, your voice matter. You have to listen to your own voice. Yes, people calling us at 5 a.m., at 3 a.m., especially at night, because they're feeling so lonely. They have some flashbacks and nightmares, which is normal after a traumatic event. So they felt scared, alone, and were witnessing panic attacks. So by talking, we are calming them down. We're building this trust between them. Yes, you can call us at any time, at any moment, and we're all experts, ready to hear your own voices. So yeah, there is lots of sad stories. Some people lost yesterday, for example, a young lady. I saw her before. She visited our station. She lost her father and her mother into a very critical situation, and she's feeling the survival guilt. Yeah, there is something called the survival guilt, and we are seeing it a lot because she wasn't at home. She came home after the explosion. Then she saw her mother full of blood. She was like lost between her father and her mother. Of course, her house is totally destroyed. It's in Marm Khalil. So she rescued her mother. She sensed that her father passed away. She was alone because people, you know what happened, the chaotic, and how people interacted at this traumatic time, and we weren't prepared. We're not in a war statement. So this lady, via listening, via talking, we're okay with her. We're saving her not to be into hospitals or whatever. This is one of the examples. Another example, and this is really painful because most of them, they are kids, where we are directing them now to art therapy, alongside with a group of beautiful volunteers as well. But we have young adult, and some old people who are refusing to leave their homes. They are emotionally attached with their homes.
Even their houses now are destroyed.
Yes, we're pushing them somehow with other NGOs and Beirut municipalities and the army, etc. They are taking them out of their houses. But the first 1 week, we were like, it's not safe for you. We heard really, really bleeding stories. How am I going to leave my house? This is where my memory, let me die here. Already we're dying. This is not acceptable at any level. Those people, they are in their golden age. We have to honor them.
Yes,
save them, give them the best options in life.
Yeah, I was actually watching news, and I saw an old lady was taking food supplies from the army, and she was very sad. She was sad. I knew that because the bank stole her money, and now she doesn't have a house, and she has to go. She felt that she's begging. She doesn't know that the Lebanese government must support those who have been affected by the blast. In the United States, every year they have twisters, tornadoes, and the government support all the people. They give them houses, they give them food, they come to them, they serve them. The governments usually serve people.
Of course. This is the concept of government.
All around the world, they serve people. We could also see it in during Corona, like in Canada and France, they give them money to sit home, and they deliver the food they delivered the foods to their houses. But that old lady didn't accept it because she felt there's something weird, as if she thought she didn't know that this is her right.
You know why?
To receive food supplies.
Because we use, as Lebanese, to give the government. We used to support the government. We used to play the major roles of the government. And this is what we did in Khalil and Jamaica, by the way. I don't want to go and shift to politics, but the people there, they felt like their dignity infected. Why we have to beg the food? Why we have to beg for a home? Give us our money. Why you're putting us in such insecure situation? I cannot transfer the amount of pain. How many stories, and on all levels. That's why we're kind of anxious about something. Now people still in the reaction and shock after the response. Where the response usually comes slowly with a conscious and unconscious mind. We're going to see dramatic events.
More than that?
People need to be secure. We have to create a certain kind of balance, mental and emotional and psychological. The government, we are a group of volunteers, but we need to develop, the government must develop resources for people to come over drama, to come over trauma. We're out of resources. It's all about NGOs. And many people, they don't know that there is NGOs offering this service or this kind of support. There is many people, they don't have the mobility to go. And there is some people scared to go, doesn't know that I have to talk, I have to go, I have to come back to my routine. I have. It's traumatic. It's traumatic.
I always remember, every time I remember Beirut blast, I remember Hiroshima's blast.
No.
Okay, fat man, little boy. So it's compared to little boy bomb in Beirut. When Japan was hit, they had nothing at all. Many people were dead. They had nothing at all.
No.
And they raised up again. When I was making my researches, how they raised up again. Actually, it was like a lot bigger because thousands of people. It's like you were like making something like it was like genocide.
Yes.
It was like genocide. So Japanese people could rise up again. During my researches, I could understand that Japanese people could rise up again with love and unity from two sides, from the side of the government and the side of people.
Two
They put
parties.
hand in hand together and they raised up again together. How much could you find this in the Lebanese spirits? Do they still have hopes like the Japanese?
Yes, as Lebanese people, we still have hope, and we are restoring hope. We are in a state of mind of restoring hope, yet we're asking them to give us the space to rise again, to rebuild our own being again, to rebuild our lovely Beirut again. Leave us alone to do this, please. We are able to do it. By the engaged vision, we have, you know, Doctor, we have an engaged vision as Lebanese, and it's a beautiful vision. We love to live, we love life, we have to grow, we have to learn. All of our resources are human resources. We have the brain power. We have the brain power.
Do you think we still have the brain power, since many of the young people are leaving the country, and not only young people?
Yeah.
Families want to leave.
They need, this is security, this is a minimum. This is the minimum. We need security, a home, a food, a medicine. Then we go to other phases, the love, the belonging, the connection, the growth, the spiritual layers, etc., etc.
But this
So
is
we need the
this is
basics.
catastrophe, because 55% of the Lebanese people
Unemployed.
are unemployed, and they are under the age of 40.
Yes.
That means you can still invest a lot with those young, strong people. So how are we going to tell them to stay here?
I cannot tell them to stay here, honestly.
If someone comes to you and tells that I have a great opportunity,
Outside now, yes,
any
go.
country.
Yes, go. But to be realistic, I'm into this domain, and I was outside, and I'm stuck here in Lebanon. Maybe it's a call from God to be here at this moment. Yet, it's not easy to travel outside. The economic situation in Europe and in Gulf area is very affected as well via the pandemic we're living with. So it's not easy to go outside. Yet, if someone can go outside to bring experience back to Lebanon, yes, go. We have family to feed. Our money are where? In the banks.
We don't want to put people in dilemma.
Yeah.
I want you to tell us, how can a person who has been affected by all that could reconstruct his or her inner self?
Okay, it depends from someone to another. It depends. It depends on the environment, the psychological immune system of the people themselves. So usually, due many factors, as the combined stress we discussed, we had a very low psychological immune system. How? One, awareness. Second phase, of course, gratitude, we're survival. And there's lots of work. Put their priorities. Be in the present. Accept what happened. Accept. We have to be in the present and accept what happened.
So you're telling someone who lost her baby or lost
yes,
her
we have to
husband,
be in the present. Yes, we have to be in the present.
has-
We cannot go into denial state.
we cannot go. What
No.
happens if we go to the United States?
The image and the fact will remain in our mind.
Okay.
And it might be reinforced at any moment.
So do you feel
And
that we have the
here
same
we
hopes
can
of
go
Japan?
to complex trauma or chronic trauma, depression, and etc.
Do you still we still have the same hopes of like Japan, for
No.
instance? We don't have
No.
the same hopes.
In Japan,
What
there,
are the
there
hopes
were
here in
two
Lebanon?
parties. There were
Yes.
two parties. Here in Lebanon, we're only one party. We trust God. We trust our unity and solidarity and our human connections as Lebanese people. Because we're a small country, we're all connected somehow. Hope is within us, but we have to put it outside by facts, by actions. We're doing this. We're pushing people to hold hopes. We can, to aim for tomorrow. And we're trying to align them via their purpose of life. So if someone lost X or Y, we're not giving therapy right now. It's not the right time of therapy. It's psychological first aid via action plan, via listening, via some tools, via follow up. It's a practical way to cope, to hold them emotionally and mentally. If I will tell you now, we can have a balanced people. No, we're in turbulence now. We cannot have this now.
Yeah,
it will take time.
You know, I felt the hope actually from the TV we're shooting here. It's inside the Beirut. It's so close to the blast.
Yes, of course.
You know, it was, it was broken, and they had to make maintenance and repair too many things.
True.
For 1 week, they were working so hard, and God bless them for all the effort they have done. And today, when I came and I met the manager of this channel, she told me that the Lebanese army is working so hard in order to make the seaport working again very soon. So this is a very good sign, and this is like a kind of self-support to you and to me and to our audience. And this is something like we have hopes. You know, whenever I remember that that I'm in a great, deep distress and sadness, I remember that we always have to have hopes in our Creator,
Of course.
in our
Faith.
Lord, in our God.
This is the faith.
Amen. I want to thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for being with us and watching us and following Lebanese news. And I want to tell you, as I said, that we have to keep our hope in our Creator. Thank you so much.
And it's okay not to be okay.